Eventide Entertainment presents The Drive-In, hosted by Aaron Lopez. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Drive-In. I am your host, Aaron Lopez. This week, I'm joined by Mike Shea, co-founder of Eventide Entertainment and your friendly neighborhood host of Mike Talks Funny.
What's up?
Mike, thanks for coming in today. We've been trying to get you in here for a little bit, but this is a good... today we're talking some Oscars, so we've got lots to say.
Oh, so many things. So many thoughts.
So, Mike was last on when we were talking about Thor, Ragnarok, and man, that seems like forever ago now in November.
It's only a couple of months, but man, that seems so long ago.
Yeah.
Before the the second ice age came through.
I know. And speaking of, today we get some more snow. So Ohio weather, it's 55 and sunny, and then 20 minutes later it's snowing and overcast. So
it's the best.
Enjoy it while it lasts. All right, so like I said, today's a special episode of The Drive-In. We're not reviewing a particular movie today. We are more looking at the Oscar nominations, and we may look into some particulars of these movies, but don't necessarily have to worry about any spoilers today. If you get anything, it's going to be minor, and it's going to be more of the overview of the entire picture. So don't worry about spoilers today. If you guys have seen any of these movies or you have any insights into them, make sure that you take a listen and do not hesitate to reach out and give your information and your opinion and feedback into the Oscar nominations of 2018. So let's just start out by just talking about the overall nominations. We are going to go into some specifics a little bit later. But for now, Mike, what were your overall reactions when you saw the nominations drop?
They felt very safe.
I would agree.
I don't think there was any risks taken with any of the, say maybe one, any of these nominations. None of them are bad, but all of them are just kind of cherry picked out of the what we call Oscar bait. Again, other than one, just very, very odd. When I look at the palette of films that came out in 2017, and I see the ones that were picked for like Best Picture, I'm just kind of like, really? I mean, they were good, but really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And you look at the films that got nominated for Best Picture or those that got nominated for Best Actor or Actress, and even going down all the way to like visual effects. Nothing surprised you. There were a couple surprises in the Best Actor category and Supporting Actor, but overall, it's very vanilla. Outside of, to me, I don't know if it's the same surprise for you, but Get Out, to me,
that's the one.
Yeah, which is the exact opposite of vanilla, but still talks about it. So
it's what that's the one I was like, they took a risk with that. I mean, and I love Get Out. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not worthy of the nod, but
it's not a traditional Oscar movie.
No,
in any way.
Not by a long shot. I just rewatched it again the other day and still found myself going like, this movie is messed up. I can't believe it's getting a nomination. It's a wonderful film. But that's the one that's the one they went with to be. But again, other than that particular film, the rest of it's just very kind of cookie cutter.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So let's look at some of these specifics. I know that you're a big sci-fi guy. So let's start with the visual effects. Everything from visual effects this year, as usual, you get a lot of sci-fi. I want to say this is the first time in a little while that across the board it's been nothing but science fiction style movies.
Last year was Rogue One and Doctor Strange, and I forget a couple others. And but I remember thinking last year there was no bad pick. Any of them could have won, and I would have been on board. And with this year, it's the same thing. I look at all 5 of these movies: Blade Runner, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, War for the Planet of the Apes. Pick one. You can't lose.
Absolutely.
I have my favorites, as does everybody. But if any one of my favorites, Blade Runner 2049. To me, that was the best film of 2017. But if anything else wins, I'm not going to be sad.
Yeah. Well, and I look at it and I'd say, something like War for Planet of the Apes, if it is going to win, I don't think it should have won for this third installment. I liked the third one, but in comparison to For example, the second one, which was a lot more to me.
I never know which one's Rise and which one's Dawn. Because they both kind of mean the same thing.
I think it's Rise is the second.
Was Rise the second one? Because the second one was something special.
Yeah.
Because Matt Reeves directed that one and War, and I thought Rise, whatever the second one is, was just great. I liked War for Planet of the Apes. I have a problem with the title.
Yeah, there really wasn't a whole lot of war in it.
There's
the one battle.
There was a skirmish.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, just Andy Serkis's mocap alone.
And if they get it, they need to just give it to him because he's the reason why they would get it.
He needs to be the one walking up on stage taking it because he'll never get a best actor nomination because you have to physically be on screen to qualify. So if they're going to do visual effects for War, Andy Serkis needs to be the one accepting that trophy.
Yeah, my pick, and like I agree with you, there really isn't a bad movie in this. I saw Kong Skull Island about a month ago and was so surprised. I expected it to not be very good, and it was very, very good. It was.
I expected it to be on par with the Peter Jackson one. Okay, giant gorilla, stuff blows up, whatever. But
They said, screw it, we're going to do things the way they should have been done the first time.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I would not be disappointed with any of these to win. My personal pick is just going to be Star Wars because that's just me. But if I saw...
That light speed.
Yeah. That's the scene.
That scene.
That, for me, would be why they win it.
Is the one.
So if they win it, I'm going to be happy. But again, if anybody else does, there's going to be no disappointment here for me. Any snubs to you? In visual effects?
As far as visual effects goes, I don't think you could have picked any five better.
Okay.
I look at some of the, when I look at other stuff like this that came out this past year, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, again, great comic book films, Justice League, stuff like that. You could have picked any one of those, and there was impressive visual effects. But of the ones that I think were the best, I think Kong Skull Island is the one that stands out to be the most as to see that one get some recognition is impressive. But of these five, I do think these five were the best of the year, hands down. I don't think they missed a mark on any of these.
Well, I like they gave Guardians the nod of all the superhero movies. You don't traditionally expect a whole lot out of Guardians just because it is Guardians, but 2 movies in and they've yet to disappoint. So
I have a very distinct feeling that because whenever they do the nominees at the award show, they always show the clip they're nominating it for.
Yeah,
I have a feeling this is going to be Rocket and Yondu jumping 30 times and their faces getting distorted. I think that was just great. I think that's gonna
the opener could be something.
Again, the very colorful, vibrant, impressively shot. You can't go wrong with any of these.
So moving on to we can kind of lump these together, although they are very different in their in what they do. But makeup and hair and costume design. I think that makeup and hair is going to be an easy Darkest Hour. I forgot it was Gary Oldman, and that I don't know if that was because of him or if that was because a little bit of the way in which he was done up in his makeup.
I have a sneaking suspicion Victoria and Abdul might take this one. I didn't see that movie. That's one movie I have not, because it was like an independent foreign
it came
release.
Through at the Neon. It came through there for us.
That one came and went for me. So, but just from what I've seen of it, that one maybe. Wonder was a fine film. It was very well done. It was very heartwarming. But I'd like it to go to Darkest Hour just because of how much I like that movie. But I think if any other one has a chance of stealing it, it's going to be Victoria and Abdul.
Yeah, when you only have 3 nominations, it was a slim year.
I think that because that only had 3 nominations last year as well.
It
was Suicide Squad, Star Trek, and
maybe you only get 3.
I think that one only typically does 3 because it's a smaller smaller category. There's not as many. Usually there's like the same 4 or 5 people working on all the movies.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and so you have 2 of those 3 are also in costume design. Darkest Hour, Victoria and Abdul are also in costume design, but it also throws in Beauty and the Beast, Phantom Thread, and The Shape of Water. The first thing that jumps out to me is, Beauty and the Beast is going to be one that's going to get a lot of attention, but I think that it got the nod just because it's Disney.
It's Disney. It's Beauty and the Beast. The costume designs were, they were fine.
Yeah.
I didn't like that movie as much as everyone else did. I actually had quite a few problems with Beauty and the Beast, but that's for another show.
I don't know if you can really get a whole lot of attention when you're ideally. I mean, yeah, you do costume design for every single person that's in there, but the majority of the movie is CGI. A lot of those characters until the very end are CGI. So
it's a lot of CGI. I thought most of the costumes looked very Halloween-y. I thought they looked very costumey.
Yeah.
And again, I know it's a Disney fantasy pick. It's not going to look as realistic as I want. That's neither here nor there. But, you know, it's just, to me, the costumes look like something on par with, like, Once Upon a Time, kind of low budget.
Yeah. I did like their subtle twist to Belle's dress. It wasn't the exact same thing, but it was pretty close.
It was pretty. I mean, the movie Beauty and the Beast visually was beautiful.
I'm surprised it didn't get a visual effects.
I am too.
Not that I think it would have won over what else got, but I'm just surprised it didn't get a nomination.
I'm surprised I'm surprised Kong Skull Island is in there and not Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. But again, with Beauty and the Beast, so much of that is it's less visual effects and more design.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not sure how they qualify costume design again, because like you said, most of the film is CGI. But as far as I think that one's got a pretty good shot. But again, not to discount it, and again, haven't seen it, but just from what I've seen, I think Victoria and Abdul might have a shot at this one too.
Yeah, you know, and that's one of them that I need to see. I know it's actually a lot of the theaters are doing a rerun of a lot of the movies that have been out. Victoria Abdul, I think, is one of those that is getting a little bit of attention just because it's in a handful of categories. So that one, and it may be coming out on DVD or be already out. So that's one I do need to check out too. Yeah. From the ones that I've seen there, Shape of Water to me, I think, is my bet, just because I remember when I was watching it, there was not a single costume that felt out of place. It fit, and the way in which, you know, and this may not be necessarily costume, but working hand in hand with the lighting design, it made a lot of sense. Every single costume, it's a dark and dreary, you know, it's raining half the movie. The tone of the entire movie is very dark. So to be able to put people in dark colors and not have them get washed into the scenes, difficult to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that Shape of Water is going to run away with a lot this year.
Which,
I don't know if it deserves everyone it's going to win.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to get a lot.
That was a damn good movie, though.
It was.
But yeah, so I don't think, and again, as far as snubs go, I don't think anything really got snubbed here.
No, I don't think so.
This is one of the ones where I think maybe, I know kind of the, and we'll touch more on this later, but I know right now kind of the big controversy is like Wonder Woman completely
gone,
completely vacant.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the ones, I mean, for being essentially a World War I period piece, I would have liked to have seen them tossed in here.
Well, I mean, Darkest Hour got a nod, and I mean, it's not too far.
World War II.
You're looking at later. Yeah. I think that I don't know. It's
Phantom Thread. I mean, that takes place in the. Is that Roaring 20s?
I want to say that's 20s or 30s. Yeah, I mean, we're all in the same spot.
Yeah,
you know, and the frustrating thing is you look at the costume design, and both Beauty and the Beast and Darkest Hour are the same person. Good for her, but there's got to be some other person out there that did some good work. That at least, you know, because she can't win for both. You know, if she's going to win for one of them, they already know what's going to happen. So they should at least give a nomination somewhere else. So that's a little frustrating. I'd agree there. Yeah. That could have been an easy slip in for Wonder Woman, but. Not this time.
Nope.
Moving on up, we are in the song categories. Let's knock out the original song first, because I actually had only heard of 2 of these songs before recording. I went back and listened to the other 3. I didn't need to. They were okay, but my favorites were still the 2 I had heard. Remember Me from Coco hit a really, you know, the episode back with my dad from a couple months ago. If you guys want to go back and listen to that one, a lot of really interesting family ties to Coco. So I think that one maybe personally just hit with me. But as far as personality-wise, This Is Me from Greatest Showman just has a punch. For any person who's done theater, you're just like, all right, this is my anthem. It's a great song. And, you know, the song was written really, really well and sung even more phenomenally. So my vote goes to This Is Me, but we'll see. We'll definitely have to wait and see.
I think those are the only 2 it's going to come down to. I think they picked The Greatest Showman. I liked. I'm a musical theater kid, so I liked it more than most people did, I think. I think
same here.
musicals are always kind of hit or miss. The other songs are fine. Nothing wrong with them, but I think they were nominated for the sake of filling nomination slots. Because Remember Me from Coco, I think, is going to walk away with this easily.
I think it will.
Coco, to me, was, again, just another example of how great Disney can do with their animated features when they're not remaking their own stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of them that people, even weeks after it came out, didn't even know what the movie was. After I reviewed it, everybody was asking me, wait, Coco's what? Mm-hmm. You went and saw what? I'm like, no, go see this movie. It's phenomenal.
Well, then there was the whole thing. Everybody was comparing it to, was it Book of the Dead?
Oh,
that
yeah.
other one, which was, again,
Book of Life, I think.
Book of Life. Yeah, Book of Life. Book of the Dead's from the Mummy. Book of Life, great movie. Same kind. It's still talking about the same, cultural thing,
mm-hmm.
with the Day of the Dead, but it's a totally different movie in and of itself. But I think it's going to come down to Coco and The Greatest Showman. This Is Me is the one that's in every trailer for The Greatest Showman. It rings true with everyone. It's a great anthem. It's a great theme for the movie. But I do think with the love that Coco has been getting, I think that's just, I can't see anything other than Coco.
Yeah, I'm just excited to watch the Oscars and see Kiala Little singing it, because she's going to be there, because all of the best original songs actually sing it that night.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get to see her. And
because they did that with, because the last year they had, and I can't remember the girl's name who was the voice of Moana.
Yeah, she sang it.
She sang Lord. I just rewatched Moana the other day. Whatever that one was.
And then you had Timberlake, who came in singing the song from Trolls, and so they have everybody sing it. So when she comes out singing it, it's going to bring the house down.
I think so too.
She's phenomenal. All right, so the score to me is where it gets a little interesting. I think it's a two-man race.
Okay.
Although I think that The Shape of Water again was really well done. Hans Zimmer and John Williams, I mean, lords of music. Dunkirk and Star Wars. I did not realize that John Williams has over 50 nominations. I looked it up. 50. I think this is number 51, I believe.
Well, he does a concert every year out in California where he plays all the scores from movies he's scored for.
That's just so cool.
There's movies he has scored for, like Home Alone. Mm-hmm. He did the score. A lot of people were like, the guy who did Star Wars did Home Alone. Yeah, he did.
He's done everything.
He has, and
his hand is in every major theme song that you really know from movies.
And putting him and Hans Zimmer, like, in the same nomination together, the other three are probably just like, do we even want to go? Like,
yeah. I mean, if it goes to one of those three, I would be shocked.
Not that they were bad,
no.
But I mean, Hans Zimmer. I've never heard a bad score from Hans Zimmer ever. John Williams, I've never heard a bad score. I do think the score to The Force Awakens was
yeah.
But the music for The Last Jedi was it was such a huge step forward. And just, I don't know what else you can say. It's going to come down to those two.
Honestly, if it goes to Shape of Water, that wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to do something, like we said, different. But I don't even remember music in Three Billboards. So either that means nothing stood out because it wasn't that good, or it means that it was so well done that it fit every scene and every moment perfectly that it just melded together.
Could be.
I don't know.
I have to go see it again, I guess. I saw it once, liked it.
I loved it.
Liked the movie. It was great. Phantom Thread, I can't really say anything about the score for that one. It was a score. It felt kind of generic to me. But,
I have not seen it yet, so I can't speak on that one yet.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll come as any shock if it comes down to Hans Zimmer or John Williams for either one of them. I don't think anybody will be surprised at all.
Yeah, I'll go Williams in this one just because I think that the tie can go to home field. I mean, it's always going to be his home field in every situation. So I'll give it to Williams. But again, Zimmer wouldn't surprise me.
No.
We've got some production ones here that I didn't really get a whole lot of looking to. But in the podcast world, I think it would be doing us a disservice to not at least look at sound mixing. production design and sound editing. Those are there, but I think sound editing and sound mixing, both of them. Anything stand out to you there?
I mean, again, I'll say it once. I've said it again. Blade Runner 2049 was the best film of 2017. I saw that 4 times within the course of a month before I got my movie pass. I was just like, well, I got podcasts are done for the day. I got 5 hours till work. I go theater's right around the corner from my office. I'm gonna go see Blade Runner again.
That's funny.
And so I think that's a great one. But man, Baby Driver, the way they utilized sound and music in Baby Driver was just something to behold. But again, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. If we're looking at mixing, again, the Lightspeed scene.
Yeah, I mean it's
hard to say give a sound mixing award for a scene that's totally devoid of sound.
Yeah,
but oh man,
I just remember seeing the images online about people who thought that there was something wrong.
Oh yeah,
because they're like, oh, did the sound go out? There's nothing. There's this huge explosion that should be happening.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
I mean
that.
that's whenever somebody does something so different that it makes you question, the technique in itself. That's pretty groundbreaking.
Yeah,
I loved it. And I think that it could go to either of those. It's really funny to see that both sound editing and sound mixing are the exact same 5 movies.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So, the overall sound experience for all 5 of these, you got Baby Driver, Blade Runner 2049, Dunkirk, Shape of Water, and Star Wars: Last Jedi. It's a toss-up. I think that...
Yeah.
I'm surprised Shape of Water got it.
That's the one that has me scratching my head for both of them. Again, when I look at everything from last year, that's the one I'm just like, I mean, nothing stood out to me as far as the audio work on that movie, other than just it was a well done movie. But then again, I'm also not sure what else I would put in there. I think as far as editing goes, I think it's going to go to Baby Driver.
Okay.
The way that the music was edited in and out of that movie, he's putting the pods in his ears,
yeah.
But again, pick one, throw a dart at the wall, and whichever one you land on, I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, Shape of Water to me, the only reason why I think it gets some attention is the amount that water makes a lot of odd sounds, and to make sure that it's only making the sounds you want it to when it is, maybe that perhaps is why it's getting a nod. But yeah, I mean, Baby Driver with the use of the music is going to be pretty cool. Outside of that, I think that you could, between Blade Runner, Dunkirk, and Star Wars, all 3 of them did a really good job, and I don't know sound enough to know if anybody is it kind of due an award this year. So outside of that, I think you really have, like you said, the dart would really do it for us.
There's no bad pick. Obviously, I want Blade Runner to win everything, but I mean, that's just me.
All right. If I skip anything, let me know. I'm going to jump up to the screenplays.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Unless we want to look at cinematography.
Well, no, that was writing was actually the one I was kind of wanting to talk about too. So, which one are we going to first?
Let's look at original.
Okay.
So, original screenplay, you've got Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. What's your first off? Who do you think is going to win out of those?
Who do I think is going to win? I think it's going to be Jordan Peele for Get Out.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Who do you want to win?
I'd like to see The Big Sick get some love.
I think it's...
I thought that was a tragically underrated movie last year. And I'd like to see that one get a little bit of love. But you also can't discredit what Jordan Peele did with Get Out. Everything else, I mean, Lady Bird, wonderfully. Greta Gerwig knocked it out of the park with Lady Bird all around. Guillermo del Toro as far as I'm concerned, can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Martin McDonagh, I'm not as familiar with. Maybe I am, don't realize it. Again, I liked 3 Billboards just fine. Could use a short title. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm filling out the sheets for the Oscar office pool, and I keep having to retype 3 billboards. You know what? 3 billboards ...
Yeah.
They'll know what I'm talking about.
I've just gotten to a point where I've just called 3 billboards and people know what I'm talking about.
Everyone's on board. But I think those are the 2 it's going to come down to, just as far as what I want to see and what I think is going to get it. I think Get Out is nominated for almost every award, And if it walked away empty-handed, I would be shocked. And
yeah. Well, and this is one of the ones that usually wherever original screenplay goes, that person's not getting director. You very rarely do they double those up.
That's yeah. I can count probably on one hand how many times I've seen that happen.
Yeah, and I think that we'll get to director later, but I want Peele to win because I think it would be amazing just for movies to see a movie like that get so much more attention. But I agree. I think that I don't think that they're going to give a first time director who usually does stand up comedy and improv and skit comedy.
the whole time I watched Get Out,
award.
I just kept telling myself, "This is the guy that created Luther."
Yeah,
this is the guy that created Luther, the anger translator. Yeah. I just can't see him cleaning out the way I think people are expecting him to.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, rightfully so, still riding the Get Out hype train.
I mean, it did so much for when it came out, and now still it is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It did things that especially that for the time period that it came out in, it was a very hot button issue and done very well.
And talk about a win for Blumhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for Blumhouse to take a shot on a comedy writer, an actor, and director doing a suspense thriller that was also topical was a huge gamble. It was a movie that you knew was either going to be amazing or garbage.
Yeah.
And thankfully it wasn't garbage. So
so satiric. You don't expect satire style movies to get as much attention as they do. They usually, to combine horror and comedy is not easy to do without it coming off as something like Scary Movie.
Right, yeah.
So to be able to toe the line so well and almost push it closer to the horror genre, I think he did a great job. I think that he's got a better chance here in original screenplay than he does in director. So,
yeah. But again, maybe this is the year that the Oscars do surprise some people.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll see.
All right, let's go to adapted screenplay. We've got Call Me by Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound. For me, I think this is there's one movie here to me that has this. Well, I mean, you don't have to say it's just to me. The nominations across the board do not give the same love to these 5 movies as they did to the original screenplays. What are your thoughts on this, though?
I have a lot of thoughts on adapted screenplay. I am a little perturbed that this is the only nomination for Logan.
It was the best superhero movie I've seen.
I would be hard pressed to disagree. The fact that this is the only nomination for Logan across the board, and I even have problems with it being considered the adapted screenplay.
Adapted from, I could say adapted from what, but Old Man Logan is the only information, and it doesn't really follow that storyline.
And that's my big thing is if you go on the website, it talks about like adapted from Old Man Logan, written by. If anybody who says this movie is adapted from Old Man Logan never read Old Man Logan.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with Old Man Logan other than the fact that Logan's an old man in the desert. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. I'm glad it got some kind of recognition. I still think it deserved more. The Disaster Artist being an adapted screenplay as well, I kind of get it because it is based on a true story.
Yeah, well, and it's based. I mean, Franco said in all of his interviews that they based the screenplay for this came from the book, The Disaster Artist.
Okay.
So I think that would be the adaptation, not necessarily just the true life story,
which is fine. And in that case, that's fine. I think the people are going to have some issues with this movie if it wins, just with everything going on right now.
And I don't think it will.
I don't think it will. I mean, I will say they probably might not because Franco wouldn't be the one winning for it. It would be the other guys.
That's true.
But when I look at what's on here, I pray to God Call Me by Your Name doesn't win.
I think it will. I mean, I'm with you. I want Logan to take this because it was so well done, and for all of the, I mean, 2017 was a very high year for comic book movies.
Oh,
some phenomenal movies. And even if you want to point out some of the holes with some of them, as we have on this podcast, it was really well done.
The worst one to come out last year wasn't even bad. It was just a mixed bag, and that was Justice League.
Yeah.
Like, Justice League was the worst one to come out last year. I freaking love Justice League, and people are just kind of mixed on it.
Yeah.
If that's as bad as we're going to do in a year of superhero films where we had the first female-led superhero film in a long time.
Yeah.
It is not the first one of all time. I'm tired of people saying that.
Yeah. But it's
the first ones were just bad.
First one done, though. First female superhero by a female director, though.
It is. It's also the first Wonder Woman film.
Yeah.
And you had Spider-Man: Homecoming, which was just something special.
For me, while we're talking about that one, that's the first Spider-Man movie outside or since, and I think for a long time we're not going to get this, but that I cared almost more about the villain than I did Spider-Man.
Oh man,
I loved Keaton's Vulture. Spider-Man 2 is the only other one for me with
Doc Ock.
With Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus was just
your heart
well done.
Breaks.
Yeah,
your heart breaks for him. I loved Homecoming, and I was late to the game on Homecoming. It came out just when I had a lot of crap going on and missed it. You had Thor, you had Guardians, again Justice League. And then Logan. And Logan was a surprise because we didn't get the first trailer for that till December of 2016. Mm-hmm. And they said, oh, by the way, the movie comes out in 3 months.
Yeah.
And it dropped in March.
Yeah.
And I'll say about Logan what I said about Captain America Winter Soldier. Take away all the comic book elements, and it would have been nominated across the board.
Yeah. It's a Western. It is not a superhero movie. It's a classic Western set in a more modern timeline. And
that's what I said about Hell or High Water last year. Mm-hmm. I thought Hell or High Water was the best movie of 2016.
Yeah.
And to me, Logan is Hell or High Water with comic book characters.
Yeah.
It's a Western. It's kind of a little dystopian, a little bit not. Daphne Keane as Laura, as X-23 in that movie.
She is awesome.
Was worth the price of admission by herself, as being the proverbial swan song of Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart.
Proverbial being a very strong word there now that they're bought out by Disney.
Yeah, I still don't know what's going on with that.
If they sidetracking a little bit here, but if they if they end up doing an Avengers versus X-Men storyline, Jackman's got to be part of it. He's got to be a part of it, depending on when it comes out.
He himself said the only way he would come back would be if the MCU took a hold of it.
And now they do. So we'll see.
That was because I think that's because Kevin Feige saw Logan and was like, I don't want him to go away.
Yeah.
But I will say, Molly's Game, I was surprised at how much I liked that movie.
I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of good things. The trailer looked really interesting.
I saw the trailer was this is going to be a throwaway, just like the story of Heidi Fleiss kind of thing. That Jamie Linda Scala did back in the 2000s. I was thoroughly impressed with how good it was. Mudbound, I still haven't seen.
Haven't either. I don't think it's played anywhere around here.
Around here, no. We've been kind of shorthanded as far as some of these smaller movies have been. In the last year, but if it doesn't go to Logan, I'm gonna be very sad. I think it's probably gonna go to Call Me by Your Name, and I really didn't like that movie.
I need to see that.
At all.
There's 3 on my list, and that one's on there. Just because with the amount of attention that it has gotten, I think I just need to see it. So then that way, if it does win, I can complain. I have a reason to.
Yeah,
but I'm Armie Hammer's one of my favorite. Never been in any other movie kind of actors.
I know.
I've heard some really awesome things about him in this, so I want to check it out. I'm with you there. I think that I want Logan to win. I really, really hope it does. I wouldn't even be disappointed if Disaster Artist won, just because I think that it was a great movie, and it's kind of fallen on a little bit of hard times because of some of the circumstances surrounding Franco right now. But based on where everything else fits, I think Call Me by Your Name is going to get it.
Yeah, I'm really, really over the coming of age romantic drama films of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
After, Fault in Our Stars, Perks of Being a Wallflower, and all those. I'm over them.
Yeah.
I've been over them for a long time, and I'd like to see those. At least if you're going to make them good. And I'm tired of them being just lazy. And it's just, that's probably going to win. I have to just kind of accept that. So,
well, we'll see. This is a good time, I think, before we get into some of the bigger categories, because I'm pretty sure those will have a lot more discussion than some of our production ones. So let's take a little break here. Go ahead and fill up your popcorn, grab a refill on that Pepsi, and let's all go to the lobby, see what's coming up soon from Eventide.
You know, there's nothing quite as satisfying as a good conversation with intelligent company.
join comedian Don Smith every week as he sits down and talks with comedians, actors, filmmakers, writers, and everyday schmoes. It's The Life with Don Smith, Wednesdays at noon on 106.9 FM, and now available on the Eventide Entertainment podcast feed every Friday on Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes.
The weekend is over. Monday is here. But that doesn't have to be the end of your fun. Every week, Ellison Smith brings you a new episode of Saltwater Gaming, breaking down video games of all different genres, consoles, platforms, and eras. Get it all every Monday on Saltwater Gaming, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
All right, so welcome back. Thanks for sticking around for the second half of the drive-in this week. Glad you stuck around because now we're going to get into the good stuff. Starting out with animated, best animated feature film. I think this is a very, very short conversation. I'm still blown away. I enjoyed Boss Baby. Is it an Oscar-worthy movie? Not a chance in hell.
Here's how animated feature film happened this year. Coco, and then all the other animated movies that came out last year were passable at best.
Yeah.
Boss Baby was fine. It was a dumb comedy with Alec Baldwin as a baby in a suit.
Yeah. I love the concept of it, of how millennials are more interested in dogs than babies. Like, that's an actual issue.
I thought it was clever as hell.
Yeah, but an Oscar-nominated, Oscar-worthy, to say I mean, I don't know. I would say, I don't know if it was just because there really wasn't anything this year. Cars 3.
Yeah, Cars 3. That
would be the only other one.
I had the same conversation with my friend Karina. I said she was so mad. She was like, that, she loves Coco, and she's like, obviously that's going to win. There's no doubt in my mind. Coco was, take everything you loved about Moana and make it Hispanic. It's Coco.
Yeah.
Ferdinand, cute movie, great for kids.
Again,
whatever.
Does it deserve an Oscar?
Breadwinner, all right. Loving Vincent, all right. Boss Baby, all right. But again, like, if you look at what else was nominated, what else came out last year, there wasn't much. The Emoji Movie. That's not going to be anywhere near the Oscars.
Well, didn't that win the what are the worst movies?
Oh, the Razzies?
Yeah, I think it won.
I got nominated across the board. That and Mother, which made me so happy. Hated that movie.
Well, and I hadn't heard anything about Breadwinner or Loving Vincent. That didn't get a lot of a national attention. So when I looked it up, Breadwinner, story of a Middle Eastern girl, looked interesting. Loving Vincent, to me, though, I think could be a dark horse simply because of what it was. The very first oil-painted animated film ever.
It was pretty.
Looked cool.
Very pretty. I saw both of them in the last couple weeks when the noms came out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I haven't seen these two. I checked them out. They're good films. I mean, nothing on this list is bad. It's just you have Coco and everything else. Yeah. Coco was 10 steps ahead of everything else. Everything else was nominated because those were the 4 other best animated films of last year, and that's not really a testament to how good the films are. It's a testament to just kind of what we got as far as animated films in 2017. Yeah.
So we both agree. If Coco doesn't win, there will be probably rioting in the streets. Oh, yeah. Just because, I don't know where else you can go.
Well, we didn't get spoiled this past year like we did previously, where we had Moana, Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, Zootopia. Still think that one should have won.
Kubo got robbed. I like Zootopia. Kubo got robbed completely.
All right, so let's move into the supporting category: supporting actor, supporting actress. Let's look at the actress first, just because that's the first one on the list. You got Mary J. Blige in Mudbound. Haven't seen it, so I can't say much on it. Allison Janney and I, Tonya, which I'm going to see this week, but from the trailers alone, the clips I've seen, she looks phenomenal.
People are raving about. She's from Dayton.
She is. She went to the school that I teach at. So
cool.
Hopefully she can win and then come back and celebrate with us. Leslie Manville, Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf, Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer, Shape of Water. Of those, I've only seen one. So Octavia Spencer would technically be who I select. Mm-hmm. She won recently, so she's tossed out in as far as how usually the Oscars go. And Mary J. Blige is kind of a newcomer. So I think it comes down to the middle three. Everything I've heard is that Leslie Manville shouldn't have gotten a nomination. They were just very surprised.
Wow.
They were like, it was good, but they're very surprised. A lot of lists say that her nomination was a very strong surprise to them. Mm-hmm. Everything I've heard says that it's between Janney and Metcalf. But you've seen both Tanya or not?
I haven't seen Tanya yet.
You have seen Lady Bird.
I have seen Lady Bird.
What are your thoughts?
Laurie Metcalf is to die for in that movie. From what I've heard of Tanya, I think it's because Tanya is making waves right now. Mm-hmm. People are losing their minds for that movie. I think it's going to go to Allison Janney. And as somebody who lives in Dayton, it just would be kind of cool.
There you go.
But Phantom Thread, I still have mixed feelings on. Leslie Manville was fine. I mean, she was okay. But I know it's rare for supporting actor actress to get to win, twice in a row, but Octavia Spencer,
she was great.
Was so good, and what was the one from last year that she won for?
She won. No, did she win for The Help?
No, it wasn't last. No, last year was the ladies working at NASA.
Oh, Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures. She was. I mean, she didn't win that one. She was nominated for that one because Viola Davis. That's another story. Viola Davis should have been nominated for lead actress, not supporting actress. Yeah. I forget what Octavia Spencer did win for, but I think it comes down to her and Laurie Metcalf. Having not seen I, Tanya, mm-hmm. I really can't comment on Allison Janney. So of the four because I haven't seen Mudbound either. So of the three that I have seen, I think it comes down to the two of them. But everyone is saying it's probably going to be Allison Janney because of what she does in I, Tanya.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's hard to say.
That'll be one that I think in the Dayton area we're supposed to be getting I, Tanya this week, so hopefully can go out and do that and check that one off the list before early March. The one thing that I would say with Spencer is that she played two roles in this movie. Every scene that she was in with Sally Hawkins, she was playing the voice of two people. And it was just well done. I don't think... she hasn't been in a movie that is supposed to be taken seriously that I didn't think she did a phenomenal job. I think that. So I wouldn't be surprised if she won with that. But since she has already gotten so much love, I think the awards are going to go elsewhere. But I wouldn't be disappointed if it went to her. Then again, I have a few more movies to see before the beginning of March. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to be to be continued on that one as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. Looking at the supporting actor, this one's a mess because there's some amazing stuff, some confusion a little bit.
Yeah.
You got Willem Dafoe in The Florida Project, which I had never even heard of until the nominations came out, but have heard nothing but amazing
underrated
things.
Movie that did not get near enough love at all. It's an amazing film.
So Willem Dafoe there. You've got two nominations from Three Billboards, Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell. The Woody Harrelson one surprises me. Sam Rockwell does not. I think Rockwell was phenomenal in it. Woody Harrelson's character is just... He's there. He's not there very... he's not as featured. He's just not... Yeah.
He was just there to be Woody Harrelson so we could say, hey, look, Woody Harrelson's on screen.
And it really didn't feel like it was much acting. I'm sure it was, but it felt like he was just kind of being himself with the script.
Yeah. I don't know. And then you got... Richard Jenkins for Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World.
Plummer shouldn't have gotten it. I think, in my opinion, I think he got it simply because he stepped in and took over.
Yeah, that one's hard to... Because that was supposed to be... I can't remember now. Anyway, but yeah, that just kind of... I don't know. All the Money in the World is just a weird one to see on here, especially with Christopher Plummer.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The name was on the tip of my tongue.
Wow. Can't believe yeah, that's right. That was that whole thing.
Yeah. He stepped in like in 2 weeks.
Yeah. They just basically had to CGI him into the movie. They had to Henry Cavill mustache him into the movie. I think it goes to, because again, Florida Project is a movie that not a lot, it was kind of like The Nice Guys when that one came out with Russell Crowe and nobody went to go see it, didn't get a lot of promotion or a lot of love. Very good film. Willem Dafoe's good in everything.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to him and Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
I really
I just hope it goes to Rockwell. A few years ago, well, this is probably getting a lot more than a few at this time, but did you ever see Moon?
Oh, yeah.
I think he should. He didn't even get a nomination for Moon.
No,
to me, Moon was one of the best movies of the year it came out, just because of him. He deserves one. He has kind of trudged through so many years that I think that now he finally has an opportunity. Plumbers doesn't need it.
I don't know why he's there. I really don't.
Harrelson doesn't need it. He won't get it. If Woody Harrelson wins over Rockwell, if it was just those two, it wouldn't go to Harrelson. And Jenkins was okay. Jenkins was a fun character.
Yeah.
He did a good job with his character.
Again, when you look at the movies that came out last year, these are the ones you picked for supporting actor. Again, not to overtoot the horn, but Patrick Stewart and Logan, y'all. I mean,
yeah.
He's got Stephen Merchant in Logan for as little as he was in the movie. I mean, if you're going to go for small roles like Woody Harrelson, throw Stephen Merchant in there. I mean, there were, maybe not Chris Pine. I thought he kind of phoned in Wonder Woman a little bit, but
yeah, it wasn't anything special.
But some of there were so many, just Michael Rooker, Guardians of the Galaxy, a supporting role. That I have watched Guardians Volume 2. I saw it twice in theaters, and I've seen it probably 4 or 5 times since the Blu-ray hit, and I cry at the end every time. That whole thing with him and Peter Quill at the end, especially with, things going on in recent months for me.
Yeah.
Just every time. So this actor supporting role this year just feels kind of like a throwaway.
Well, and I haven't seen it yet, but from some of the scenes that I have seen, I know you're not a huge fan of Call Me by Your Name, but Armie Hammer and both him and Michael Stuhlbarg, they said there was the scene that Michael Stuhlbarg's talking, and it's like it's a monologue, and that monologue alone should have won him a nomination at least. And people they've just been raving about both of those guys in that movie. And Stuhlbarg's been in a lot lately. He was in Shape of Water. He was in The Post. He was, we haven't even gotten to
that one yet.
But yeah, I'm just surprised that he's been in so many great movies, or at least was what the Academy says is a great movie. Yeah. And he's not even getting a nomination. So that surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, and I know the voting process for the Oscars is beyond rigorous.
Yeah.
But it's just, this year's actor in a supporting role just feels like a throwaway category.
It really does. Which may work into Rockwell's favor. I'm pulling for him. I really liked his performance in 3 Billboards, so we'll wait and see. Moving on, let's look at the lead actress. So lead actress is going to be a rough one this year. I'm not really sure who to go with. There's a lot of talent here. Sally Hawkins, Shape of Water. She did probably more acting than anybody else, because she is a mute. Frances McDormand, phenomenal job. Margot Robbie, I again haven't seen it yet, but people have said nothing but amazing things. Can't say about Lady Bird, and I'm not even sure how to pronounce her name. Is it Saoirse?
I have no idea, but
Saoirse Ronan. I apologize if I've just said her name wrong. And then Meryl Streep.
So once again, it's another year of try to beat Meryl.
And she's not going to win for The Post.
No,
in comparison
to
the others.
The Post was fine.
Yeah.
I've said that a lot today, I know, but like The Post was a movie.
It was a movie that felt like it was made to try to win Oscars.
Yeah, no, the Post is one. When people talk about Oscar bait, we're not just talking about any serious drama. Movies like The Post, which are made for the sole intention of appealing to an Oscar crowd. Are Oscar bait, and that's all The Post is you put Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks in a movie about something to do with politics,
and then you give Spielberg the reins. Yeah,
all you're doing at that point is just like, holding a plate of cookies under the Oscar under the Academy's nose is like, smell it, come on, you want it.
And in reality, I think they caught on to that because it did not get much love. I mean, yes, it is nominated for a Best Picture, but outside of that, the only other nomination, unless I've missed one, was, or the ones that we've talked about at least today, was Meryl.
Yeah.
There might have been something in cinematography, but outside of that, yeah, it didn't get a whole lot of love. Spielberg did not get a nomination for director. Hanks didn't get a nomination.
No. That's really it. Yeah, and that was because it made some waves at the Golden Globes. But I could give two squirts about the Golden Globes, in all honesty.
Yeah, they don't really say much.
No. Well, and people try to lump all the awards together, and this is a little bit of a sidebar, but the difference between the Golden Globes and the Oscars is this. The Oscars is like 2,500 members of the Motion Picture Association of America going through a rigorous voting process. Like the amount of voting that goes on and math that is involved in selection of nominees is ridiculous. The Golden Globes is like 30 members of the foreign film press picking their favorites.
Yeah.
To discredit them as much as I can, the Golden Globes are the same organization that gave The Martian Best Musical or Comedy.
It's neither musical nor
which
comedy.
It is neither. So that's kind of where I hold the Golden Globes in such low regard. But The Post got a lot of love at the Golden Globes. And even as great of an actress as Meryl Streep is, it's rare for her to phone it in. She didn't even phone it in Mamma Mia.
Mm-mm.
This was not Meryl Streep's best performance.
No, I thought she did better last year in the Florence Foster Jenkins?
Yeah, love that movie. Great movie.
That was an awesome movie, and she didn't win that one.
Nope.
So if she can't win last year, I would be heartbroken if she won for The Post.
Considering she makes a movie a year, gets nominated every year, I think people are kind of tired of her. Mm-hmm. Now it's okay. No, seriously, can we not have Meryl Streep win Best Actress every time she's nominated?
Yeah. She's been nominated. I think it's in the 20s or 30s, isn't it? It's up there.
Yeah, she gets nominated for just about every movie if she makes more than one movie a year, she'll be nominated for at least one of them. Yeah. If she only makes one, she'll be nominated for it. Everything I've heard this year, again, have not seen I, Tonya. Everything I've heard this year says it's going to Margot Robbie. I would like it to go to Ms. Ronan from Lady Bird, personally. I think Frances McDormand still got it. I just watched Fargo again for whatever.
She's so perfect in that role of kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? She does really, really well in the outsider role.
Yeah,
where she doesn't really have anybody else to hold on to, and she just do her thing.
She's the loner. She's
really well.
She's the lone wolf of the film, and she was great. Other than Meryl Streep, and again, I haven't seen I, Tonya, so of the three left that I've seen, all three are great picks. Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water, again, like you said, as a mute, doing probably some of the best acting, probably the best acting in the film.
Yeah, she did a great job.
But Sayor, again, I can't say her first name, Ms. Ronan from Lady Bird. Lady Bird is a movie that did not get a lot of mainstream attention, but I still think was, without a doubt, one of the best films of the year. And a lot of that was because of her.
Yeah, I think that that's one that I plan on trying to go see this week. So hopefully have a little bit more of a full idea. But I'm going to go with McDormand just because between her and Hawkins and Streep, of the three I have seen, McDormand was the best of those three. But Hawkins, man, that was so well done. So again, I'd love to see Robbie win just because if she can survive Suicide Squad and still be able to a year later put this together, good on her.
I like Suicide Squad more than most people did. I know it wasn't great.
Visually, it looked cool.
There was a lot of good. There was a lot of bad.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. This is kind of another one of those where you've got so much talent. It doesn't feel like anything is owed to anybody. And so really you could pick any of them and they'd all deserve it. Streep would even deserve it, but I just wish that
she was
it
good.
would have gone somewhere else.
She was fine, just whatever, it's Meryl Streep.
All right, so moving on to lead actor. This is one that really, I feel like this is a very easy conversation, but there's one nomination here who I feel does not belong at all. So your nominations are Timothy Chalamet from Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis in what is supposed to be his final film, in Phantom Thread, Daniel
Kaluuya.
Thank you. And from Get Out, Gary Oldman from Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. I don't know why Denzel's in this conversation.
I have no idea.
No one talked about the movie when it came out. No one's talked about it since.
I
but
saw
apparently...
it, and I allow myself one walkout per year. I will walk out of one movie per year if I hate it, but I try not to make a habit of it.
Yeah.
I walked out of Roman J. Israel.
It didn't feel like it was anything special. And it was, it's one of those movies that, I'm never really against a movie being preachy, because if you're going to do something, if you're going to pick a media to be preachy in, movies are a way to do it.
I didn't even find it preachy. I just found it odd. It started off as like, oh, he's this guy who's old school and trying to keep the old school going, and it doesn't work for the big corporate lawyers, and he's trying to be this role model, and then it's like, I'm going to go get information from prisoners and then use it to cash in on reward money.
I just don't get it.
Okay, whatever. It felt phoned in.
I mean, if you're gonna give Streep a nomination, then Hanks deserved a nomination there. Man. I think Denzel was a last second throw in after the Franco disaster, and no pun there, but I think that Franco. I honestly feel that Franco was nominated, and then the Academy said no. But then it makes it seem very weird when last year Casey Affleck won.
Well, it's not even that. The timing doesn't make sense to me, because the voting had already ended prior to the Franco thing happening.
You don't think they'd pull it even if?
I don't think the Oscars would do that. Again, the Casey Affleck thing from last year.
That's true.
But if you look at the Oscars, which are known for their posterity, and their honoring their own system, I don't think they would break that tradition. Because again, Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
I think that, again, the timing does. I understand why people want to think that, but if you look at when the voting closes as opposed to when the stuff with when the voting starts, closes, and the stuff with Franco hit, the timing just doesn't make sense to me. So regardless, Denzel Washington still shouldn't even be on this list. I think it comes down to two. I think it's either going to go to Gary Oldman or Daniel Kaluuya. Mm-hmm. Daniel Day-Lewis, for his supposedly final film, not his finest work.
He's going to be a dark horse just because of who he is.
But... Yeah, and I think Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the greatest actors to ever walk. Lincoln, to me, was a masterpiece, and a lot of that was his... Timothy Chalamet, get that movie off this list, whatever. But I think...
Well, I don't see how they can give him that attention and then not give it to Hammer or Spielberg.
Yeah. Because I thought Armie Hammer was the best acting in that movie.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Either way, with the waves that Get Out has been making, the performance Daniel Kaluuya gave in Get Out was astonishing. Yeah, for a pretty much unknown actor. Yeah, at that point,
I think was the only other thing I'd seen him in was an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, he's gonna be in Black Panther. Which is cool. But Gary Oldman became Winston Churchill.
I forgot I was watching a guy playing somebody else when I watched that movie.
We were not watching Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill. We were watching Winston Churchill. This is Gary Oldman's takeaway, I think. But if it went to Daniel Kaluuya, I wouldn't be upset. I think it comes down to those two anyway, but I think Oldman has this one in the bag.
Yeah, has Oldman won before?
For Best Actor, I don't think so.
He's one of those guys that, a lot of people don't realize. If you like movies, you've seen him a lot. And you don't even realize it because he's such a good actor that he can change the way he acts. He's a lot like Day-Lewis, where he takes on so many different characteristics in order to portray a certain character. A lot of people forget, hey, he's Sirius Black. He's the villain in the Fifth Element.
Everyone forgets about the Fifth Element.
Everybody.
Everyone forgets him in the Fifth Element, and I thought that was some of his... He had so much fun making that movie. As far as he's only ever been nominated for one other award, and that was for Best Actor in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Oh, which he
did not win.
Could not finish that movie.
Really?
I watched it. I tried watching it 3 different times. Fell asleep the first time. Second time, had something going on. The third time, I just said I can't do it.
He
couldn't do it.
He won a couple of BAFTAs. He did win the Best Actor for the Golden Globe for Darkest Hour.
Okay.
So he's got some. He also got nominated. for best voice acting in Kung Fu Panda 2. But I think this is Oldman's year.
I hope so.
It's just if you haven't seen Darkest Hour, good God, it was a movie that I was really afraid was going to be bad, because a lot of those movies like that come out and they're just boring, and I was enthralled from the moment the movie started.
And that's when everybody asked me when I saw it, just because there's not a whole lot of people I know that have gone out and seen it, but they have asked me how I felt it was. And I said, I don't think it'll win Best Picture. I loved the movie. I thought it was really well done, but I think I enjoyed it so much because of Oldman. His performance to me was what I was so enthralled with. His, from the very first sentence he speaks, they set it up of, you're going to have to really listen because he mumbles. Mm-hmm. They joke about it a lot. We talk about this on the podcast a lot with people with accents who, can you keep it the whole time? Does it feel believable? You don't know you're not watching Churchill.
Yeah.
If you were to watch this movie not knowing Oldman was in it, it would be, you would not know it was Oldman. You would not have any idea that Gary Oldman portrayed this.
And he's not the first actor to portray Winston Churchill. But this is probably the first time I've gotten lost in the actor's performance. Ordinarily, it's like, oh, look, there's that guy playing Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's that guy. But similar to the way Daniel Day-Lewis played Abraham Lincoln, Gary Oldman became Winston Churchill. If he doesn't, I would be shocked if he didn't win, but I wouldn't be disappointed if it went to Daniel Kaluuya. But I still think Oldman has his one tied.
Yeah, I agree with you there. All right, so we got two more: Best Director and Best Picture. So let's look at directors first. You got Christopher Nolan in Dunkirk, Jordan Peele in Get Out, Greta Gerwig in Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro for Shape of Water. I'm hoping that Peele wins it, but as we said earlier, I think he's going to get his love for original screenplay. With that being said, where do you think this one falls?
I actually do think it's going to go to Jordan Peele.
Oh, good. I hope it does.
I really do, and I hope it does too. But if we go with the pattern where he'll get best screenplay, then beyond that, I think it either goes to Del Toro or Nolan.
Yeah,
I really do. I thought Greta Gerwig did a great job with Lady Bird. I really do, and with everything going on in Hollywood right now, it would be nice to see a woman walk away.
It really would.
It would. But Del Toro already won Best Director Golden Globe for Shape of Water, and I thought it was well deserved. I think this is very much Del Toro in his element, but still playing around and still exploring. But what Nolan did with Dunkirk, that was a movie that people it was heavily anticipated.
Yeah, it was, and I mean we'll get to that here in a little bit. I'm not as high on Dunkirk as other people. I saw it, and I had some conversations that I'm probably in the minority when it comes to that, because everyone just adored Dunkirk. They thought it was just so well done. I don't know if you're going to portray.
I thought it was on par with most of what he's done. I don't think it was.
Yeah, for him it was.
I don't think it was anything like. I wanted it to be like this life-changing World War II movie about a story that no one's ever heard. Mm-hmm. I'm a World War II nut. To me, it was your average Christopher Nolan film. That being said, there were a lot of things he did with the story, the way there wasn't necessarily one particular main character or main plot thread. It was kind of just the story, the whole enveloping story was, I thought, actually kind of ballsy.
I liked it, but I didn't know I liked it until the end. The splitting up of the storylines and they portray it in the first 10 minutes. You see it's a week before, the day of, and hours before, or something like that. And that was cool. I didn't know what was going on, and then once it all came together, and you find out that this story is being told in this way. I did enjoy that. I don't know. It doesn't come out it doesn't stand out as something that would beat Del Toro.
The only one on here that I'm scratching my head at is Paul Thomas Anderson. Again, I really didn't. I didn't have a problem with Phantom Thread. I just didn't love it.
Yeah, for how much attention that three billboards got, Martin McDonagh was a surprise that one did not get it. Mm-hmm. I think that was a snub. And if you would have swapped him and Anderson out, I think I would have been a little bit more satisfied.
I agree. But
yeah, I think it's going to go to Del Toro. I hope it's Peele. I really do.
I would like it to go to either Peele or Gerwig because, again, I really did just love Lady Bird. But I think it's pretty much, in terms of how much love the film's got, because, again, Lady Bird, great film. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it. I think it's going to come down to Peele and Del Toro.
I just want to hear Peele's acceptance speech. I think that would be phenomenal.
That would be great. And I really, just for my own personal BS, I really hope Luther the Anger Translator makes an appearance at the Oscars.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Just
well,
they had nothing to do with the movie.
They had a lot of fun with it last year. I think that that they didn't take themselves too seriously last year with Jimmy Kimmel, and I hope
Kimmel's
that they
a great
don't.
Host.
Well, the way he handled the La La Land and
the Moonlight incident.
The Moonlight, yeah, that was that. He did not have the poise immediately, but he settled very quickly.
What do you do?
And he handled it, and
Yeah.
I remember watching that and sitting there and just being shocked at
it's
how
like
it played
Steve
out.
Harvey at Miss Universe. What do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it wasn't him that made the mistake. It was it was the presenter who made the mistake.
He held on to the old. He didn't. He gave the other one.
He grabbed the wrong envelope or something like that, and that was on him.
Said, was it?
It said Emma Stone's name,
Stone,
and so he just assumed it was La La Land.
Because he even looked at it, and he's like, this is confusing. He's like, no, look at it. He was trying to fix it because he's like, this doesn't sound right. She's like, stop talking to me. Like, no, you really probably should have paid attention to that.
And then there was the whole thing that Emma Stone tried to start a bunch of crap afterwards. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. Hosting wise, Kimmel made it fun.
Yeah.
He made it.
So with that being said, I think Luther may make an appearance.
God, that would be sad if he didn't. But yeah, I would love to see Peele win Best Director. It's probably going to go to Del Toro.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, so we'll see. This one, other than Paul Thomas Anderson and maybe Nolan, I think it's a toss-up really between the three, but it's probably going to be Peele or Del Toro.
Excellent. All right, so we've come to the final category, Best Picture.
So many thoughts.
Okay, so we've had a lot of categories that we've talked about today, and I'm assuming that a lot of people listening may know where we're going to go with some of these, snubs and the overrateds and everything like that. But let's get to it. So your Best Picture nominees are Call Me by Your Name, Dunkirk, Darkest Hour, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. For me, I've seen all except for Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, and Call Me by Your Name, of which you've seen all 3 of those. Mm-hmm. So between the two of us, we can kind of put together a pretty complete picture here. I've got my thoughts. Let's see what you have to say, though.
First of all, why only 9 movies?
Yeah, they can go up to 11, can't they?
It's 10. I think they go up to 10.
Okay.
You couldn't pick one. There's one movie, and maybe I'm blanking on when it came out, but No Love for Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, that one didn't get any attention
on here. Got plenty of attention at the Golden Globes.
It's not on. I don't think it got a single Oscar nomination.
There's nothing on here for the Oscars for it. I don't understand why. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. But you couldn't pick a 10th movie. You couldn't pick Battle of the Sexes, The Florida Project, Logan, Blade Runner. Oh man, what else came out this past year? Just there were so many movies you could have chosen.
Well, I mean, you gave the Big Sick original screenplays.
The Big Sick.
I mean that there were movies that were on the Best Adapted or Best Original that did not make it to Best Picture.
Not even I, Tonya.
Uh-uh.
I'm surprised I, Tonya's not here.
That one's nowhere on the screenplays or picture.
Just couldn't have picked one more movie. To me, 9 just seems like a weird place to stop.
Yeah.
To me, go 5 or go 10. If you're in the middle, then it's just like, why?
Mm-hmm. At least give them the respect of saying you are one of the best 10 movies of the year.
Yeah. Just even if you have to go by box office, I don't care. Just pick a 10th movie and get Call Me by Your Name off this list. Just I don't get it. Why is everyone? I understand film is subjective. Why does everybody like this movie so much? I don't understand.
I don't know. I gotta go see it. So. For me, the throwouts. As far as
Phantom Thread, throw out Phantom Thread.
Yeah, as far as the ones that I have seen, I don't think Dunkirk is one of the. I don't think it's the best. I think it was one of the best. I don't know if it was the best. Darkest Hour, again, to me, I think that its love and attention should come in the form of Gary Oldman winning. I don't know if it was the best picture, and I did not think The Post was even one of the best pictures to be nominated. My two, it comes down to Shape of Water, three, Get Out, or Three Billboards. I still haven't seen Lady Bird. I'm assuming from everything I've heard from you today, as well as everything that I've heard from others, it'll probably make its way into my top 3, 4, however it may. I don't know. I'm a little upset that, as we talked about earlier, Wonder Woman didn't get any attention. That could have been even a place for it. But I think for me, it's a toss up between Shape of Water and Three Billboards. Get Out could be a dark horse, as it's been a year and it's getting more attention again as we're ramping up for award season. What are you thinking right now?
I don't think Get Out gets Best Picture. I think the fact that it was nominated alone is kind of hit me kind of with a blind side.
Kind of like District 9.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, that movie's a Best Picture nominee?
I like District 9 a lot.
Loved it, but it just didn't seem to make sense to be a Best Picture nominee.
To see a horror thriller get nominated for Best Picture is just weird on its own.
It's cool, though.
It's a great movie, and I'm glad that they did. Again, they talk about how, we're trying to be more diverse and open-minded with our nominations. This year says otherwise, but Get Out, okay, fine. I don't think it wins, though. I think the idea of the Oscars giving Best Picture to a horror movie is a little out there even for them right now.
Didn't Silence win? Silence of the Lambs won, didn't it?
Oh man, did it?
Yeah, I think it did.
That
might be the only one that I could think of, though.
But that had Anthony Hopkins
and years ago,
and that was a long time ago when that movie transcended its own genre. Yeah. I think it's going to come down to Shape of Water, Three Billboards, and Lady Bird. Okay. I would love it to go to Lady Bird again. I want to see. It's female led, female directed. If we're not getting Wonder Woman in the conversation, then Lady Bird definitely needs to be. Yeah. Get The Post out of here. Get Call Me by Your Name out of here. Dunkirk, it's a World War II movie. Those are always going to get nominated. Yeah. It's about heroes of World War II. I get why it's nominated.
Well, and it seems like anytime you make a war movie, as long as you don't butcher it, you're going to get a Best Picture. I mean, last year,
unless it's really bad,
Hacksaw Ridge, I liked a lot. I really liked it.
We all know why that one didn't win, but that was a good movie.
But it was good. I mean, I think Dunkirk's in that same conversation. A good movie, paid its respects to those people who were in that battle, who fought. But is it the Best Picture? In comparison, I don't think it overtakes it.
Darkest Hour has more of a chance than you might be giving it credit for, but I don't think it wins. I think it does come down to Lady Bird, Shape of Water, and Three Billboards. Get Out being the kind of underdog if I had to pick a fourth one.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed with Darkest Hour. It was a well-done movie across the board. Mm-hmm. I wasn't bored with it for a biopic, usually, especially one that is more drama-based instead of something like I, Tonya, which is a little bit more action and comedy. It kept my attention, and that's great.
That was the other thing I noticed this year. Holy crap, the Academy loved biopics this year. Darkest Hour, biopic. Dunkirk, biopic. Lady Bird, biopic. Phantom Thread, biopic. The Post, biopic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of biopic love this year. And that might be kind of what's kind of putting me off a little bit is like, biopics are great, but y'all.
Well, in comparison, that may be why you've got Shape of Water and Three Billboards with so much attention is because they stand out.
And Get Out.
And Get Out, yes.
Get Out, so... And Call Me by Your Name, I guess, whatever. But Logan wasn't a biopic either, so I'm not going to let that go. I love that Blade Runner got so many production nominations, but between that again, Logan getting one nomination that I'm not even sure it totally deserves.
No, I don't. Yeah, I agree with you there.
But yeah, of the again, Best Picture, it's going to go to Three Billboards, Shape of Water, or Lady Bird, maybe Get Out. If it goes to anything outside of those four, I'd be surprised. Yeah, I really would.
Yeah, I've seen them both. The two that I've got it down to, Shape of Water and Three Billboards. I can't make a decision right now. I've thought about it, and they're both really, really well done. I saw them probably within a few days of each other. So they've been sitting for a while, and they're both still. I'm still enjoying them. Looking back and really enjoyed the story of Three Billboards, and you had a really, really well done from Frances McDormand. Her performance was phenomenal. Sam Rockwell. But then Shape of Water, it confused me at times. But the way in which it was still able to pull it off despite what it was portraying was just phenomenal. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so you got about a month from when this airs to see all these movies. March 4th, ABC, check it out, the Oscars. I still have to go see a few myself, including I, Tonya, which I'm hoping to see for next week's review.
Yeah.
Was talking to Mike before we started here, and we were supposed to see, me and a couple friends were supposed to see I, Tonya, had our tickets, and then the theater said it was pulled. So we're hoping that it is back on the slate for this week, and hopefully we can go and finally get to see that one. As always, you guys can reach out to me through Twitter at Drive-In Eventide, or you can email me driveineventide@gmail.com. I'm sure this is probably one of the more opinionated reviews that we've had, just because there's been so many movies that we talked about today. So if you have any issues with, maybe you loved Call Me By Your Name and you want to let me know so I can tell Mike.
Send me your tweets. Just tweet me. I don't care.
But if you've got any thoughts on these, let us know. And maybe there's some snubs that we didn't get to today. Let us know, and we will shout those out next week when I review I, Tonya. So again, Mike, thanks for joining me. Appreciated it.
Love it, man. Always.
So we'll have you on here soon again. Until then, everybody drive home safe.